Hello, welcome to the United Stand. It's the Sunday night fan reaction show. I'm just going to fly straight into it. I've got three great guests on tonight, Alex, Kev, and a special guest who will introduce you in a minute. But just going to give you my very early thoughts on the derby. It's a bit like Christmas morning. You wake up, you're excited, you're going to get that new United top, and then your dad's bought you a Liverpool one. And that's just the way I feel a bit about it. But obviously, we'll delve into it a bit more in depth through the show. But special guest tonight, I don't know. I mean, I'm in my mid-30s, and I think Kev is as well, so you probably know who this man is. But Happy Mondays, Manchester band, fits in perfectly with the resurrection of United in the early 90s, I suppose, Gaz as well. But let's get your thoughts first of all on the game today. What were your thoughts?
Well, same as everybody, Rooney's an issue, and it was dull. In the final third, it's the final third every time. You know, it's the same. It's like Rooney. In the past, he was always creating space from the into space. He just seems to, you know what? It seems like he's. I don't think he's lacking confidence, but he appears like he's playing like he is. Such a dreadful, it's shocking. And you know, it seems to slow down every time. It seems to be. He looks like a player from a different age at some points in the game. You know what I mean? It's like a style that was played 5 seasons ago. You know, I don't. You know, I mean, I know it's the obvious one, but it's so obvious to everyone in the world's talking about it. Except Van Gaal refuses to acknowledge it. I don't know, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I was watching a couple of hours ago Louis van Gaal's press conference, and he was asked about Rooney, and I don't watch it all the time, but he was saying that I don't want to talk about Rooney. I'm frustrated with people asking me about Rooney. What's your opinion to the pressman? And he was like, well, he's not good enough. And he says, well, that's your opinion, isn't it? My opinion is that he's all right. I mean, we've had it on this show quite a bit. We've not talked about Rooney for a couple of weeks actually because people said we were on his back. I mean, you know, there's no joy in being proved right. But can you see Louis van Gaal dropping him?
I don't think he's going to do, but I think he needs to. I think he needs to. I mean, and we need. It's funny when Lingard came on and Martial, they kind of linked up really quickly. It's kind of like the game's a different kind of game than it was a few years ago. I think if he gets to it, he's not become a bad player overnight. I think he's a bit bored. I think he's just come stale. I think if he gets to another club, he might probably come over to the MLS over here. You know, he probably do well. I mean, he's not a bad player, but he just doesn't seem to work. I mean, I don't know. You know, I've been watching United since the early '70s, going as a little kid, and I think it's the first time ever that I'm bored watching. You know, they're boring to watch. We're never boring. Love or hate, it was never boring. I mean, first full season we was in the second division. It wasn't even boring. You know, it was never boring. Even the season we got relegated, but we just seem bored. It just seems a little bit dull.
Yeah, I remember you saying that to me the other day when we were arranging this show, actually. But we'll come back to that in a minute. Kev's been at the game today, and I think he's literally just come in from the pub. We were hoping we were going to have a happy Monday tomorrow, but I'm disappointed with it, Kev. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, can I just start by saying you twisted me melon, man. Got to get that one out of the way. Yeah, just really, really disappointed. I mean, I'll back up the points that have been made, really. I've gone to the match today, and I said to somebody in the pub before, I said, it was almost like a boxing fight. It was almost like they were trading blows. In the first half was an absolute write-off. It was like, let's go toe-to-toe. Let's see what we've got. And we're playing Man City, who have got their 2 best players out. They've got Aguero out and Silva out. And a lot of Reds that I've spoken to today are disappointed because I think this was a great opportunity to get three points against City. And all the City fans that I've spoken to in the pub there about an hour ago, they're happy with this point. And for me, that's disappointing because we should have beat them today. That's personally what I think. I'll back up again. Wayne Rooney, why is he leading the line? We got Martial that we spent a fortune on. He's got pace, penetration. He's stuck out on the left. And we've got Wayne Rooney leading the line. The big turning point for me today was when Vincent Kompany got the yellow card just before half time.
Yeah, spot on this.
He got the yellow card. And the first thing I would have said when they went in at half time, I would have made that change then and played Martial up front and said, you run at that man now because he's not fully fit and he was obviously on a yellow card. He was a red card waiting to happen, and I think Van Gaal should have acted on that and said, Martial, you go up top now, terrorise him with your pace. And it never happened because he plays Wayne Rooney. Again, I'm banging my head against a brick wall. Every time I come on this show, I say about Wayne Rooney and I get slated for it, saying, oh, he's done this and that. But for me, he should not be in the team at the minute. And some people find that hard to believe. But yeah, I think Martial, even if you want to accommodate Wayne Rooney, stick him out on the left. Sir Alex Ferguson used to do it.
Yeah, well, that's where I would have put him, actually. But
but he's played well back up front on his own and stuck Rooney out there. And we're going back 2 years ago now, so Sir Alex Ferguson knows best. You know what is going on. If you want to accommodate him in that side, for me, Martial has to lead that line.
No, you're spot on. I'm glad you brought up the company thing. And Alex, just very quickly, I mean, it's a bit like there is a positive because we did play with 10 men today, and I think Rooney out of the equation, everybody else was. I've got no qualms with everybody, and I'm going to go to everybody else about this, but I can't criticise anybody in that team other than Wayne Rooney. The performance was there up to the number 9, and unfortunately, the number 9 scores the goals.
Yeah, I put a tweet about that earlier. I said, to be fair, to be fourth place in October playing with 10 men for an entire season while everyone else is playing with 11 is very achievement to be proud of. But I'm just disgusted with it now. And it's nothing against Rooney because he doesn't, well, we hope he doesn't pick himself. It's Van Gaal picking him, and it just pisses me off the preferential treatment he gets. And I won't complain about him, but it's like Diamond gets hooked off at half-time in games. Mata does. Blind has just been randomly dropped. Memphis is the main one who's just out in the corner that didn't even get off the fucking bench. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And I know you're a big fan of Lingard, but when it comes down to ability, Memphis is a better player than Lingard. But Lingard, to be fair to him, did do well. But it's just Rooney. I would have brought Memphis on for Rooney, and then have Lingard right, and then Memphis left, and Martial up front, like what you guys all touched on. With if anyone could see at half time, it was just full. Twitter was just full of people saying, all you have to do now is move Martial up front, and then when Company's on the yellow, he's going to get sent off. Anyone could see it, because like Kev said, he's not fully fit. But I knew it wasn't going to happen, and I knew he wouldn't get subbed off. And I'm really starting to question those newspaper reports a while ago saying that Rooney has it in his contract that Moyes gave him that he has to play with and not be dropped. And it's really starting to look true now, because how can Van Gaal be the only one that doesn't see it, and literally every single fan sees this?
Yeah, I'll throw this back to you guys, but very quickly. The question's going to be, and a few United fans I'd read and watched their videos and said that we had City on the ropes. But there's a good tweet here from @DanielStory85, and he basically says 55% passing accuracy from Rooney, no shots on target, no chances created, lost possession 5 times more than any other player on the pitch. I mean, if that's having City on the ropes, I'd like to see it when we finish them off.
Well, that's probably improvement on what he's been playing the rest of the season. It's just, I mean, he must know it himself. I mean, he must know it. You know, it's just, it just seems to be a lack of interest. I mean, it doesn't seem to be anything. I think he wants to. I don't know. Well, we've got no proof he wants to move on or anything. He's not said anything, but he just doesn't seem happy. It's just not working. He slows it down. He just seemed, like I say, he just seems to me like a player from a different era.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether you saw the programme because you're over in Toronto, aren't you? The Rooney programme a couple of weeks ago on the international break.
Yeah, I watched it actually, and I like him as a person. You know, I like that about him. You know, I do. I think he's a great player, and he will be a great player again. He just doesn't seem to be working with this. It's just, I mean, you know, Van Gaal's philosophy of boring teams to death. I mean, it's fine. The passing's a lot better, the movement's a lot better, but like everyone says, everyone sees it. As soon as it gets to that final third, it stops. I understand you've got to bring the ball back to bring the defence out and bring it. I understand that, but there's no turn of pace. There's just no turn of pace. Well, Martial has a turn of pace, of course, and Lingard came on, but Rooney hasn't. He just seems to. I don't know. He seems to be static half the time. It's hard for me. I don't, because I'm over here. I only see it on TV, so I only see what the camera shows me, and it's like this is going to be really controversial, but I'm not convinced by Schneiderlin. I think he had one good game against Everton, but then again, I'm not at the ground, so I don't see him doing other things on the pitch. But I'm not convinced by him, and I know. And this is another one. I was never convinced about Fellaini, but
you're welcome here, guys. That's all right.
I know you don't like him, but and I didn't. But he's been great this season when he's come on. I don't know about full games, but him and Schweinsteiger in the middle, they'd frighten any team to get them to. And I think he's effective. I don't mean lumping the ball up. That's part of the game. I think he's effective in the midfield. I'm just not convinced by Stardlin yet. I'm just not convinced. Maybe he just needs time because he's a good footballer. And I know I've got friends who are Southampton fans. I said he's the best of the players I've left. So I'm not disregarding him. I just don't think he's been great. I don't know. He's not. Maybe he's doing something I don't see. I don't know, but I'm not convinced.
I thought, to be honest, if I was going for a man of the match today, I would have gone for Schneiderlin or Rojo. And I think I do agree with you that he's not been great this season. He's been a bit up and down. I think he got dropped out of the team, didn't he? I mean, God knows what's going on with Carrick. But I'll quickly get to you with this, Kev, while it's fresh in my head. Picking up on what Gaz says there, obviously you go to the games, and we'll finish up on Rooney with this as well. Why is Louis van Gaal not dropping him? Do you think Louis van Gaal thinks that the crowd's going to turn because has he got a misconception about the Old Trafford faithful that they somehow love Rooney? I mean, you're there. How would they react? I mean, I know how most fans would react off Twitter and everything. They'd be overjoyed. But is there any loyalty to Rooney in that crowd that if he would been subbed off for 20 minutes today, they'd be booing about him being taken off? Because we'd have won the game if we had.
At the end of the day, loyalty. If you mention Wayne Rooney and loyalty in the same sentence, it's not happening. For me, do you know what I mean? He was ready to leave us, and he's ready to, twice it's happened. He was ready to leave us to go to our biggest rivals, Man City, and he was ready to do the same thing again when Jose Mourinho took over Chelsea. And loyalty and Rooney don't come into the same sentence for me. And this is why Manchester United fans have struggled to take to him. Yeah, he's on course to he's breaking records for Man United. But yeah, he's just, as a United fan, that's what I struggle to get with Rooney. And a lot of United fans that I speak to are exactly the same. And yeah, he's been fantastic for Man United and that, but an article I read the other day, people are on about like why is Ronaldo ahead of him when people mention him in the same breath. For me, Ronaldo never did what Rooney did, and that's where it comes into it. I think it's the fact that Wayne Rooney decided to go to Man City, and he would have if he could have. It didn't come off. And that's where all this comes into for me.
Yeah, I mean, he needs dropping, and he needed subbing today, and it was 2 points dropped as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Keen226 in the live comment box says Rooney's the type of player if we drop him and we lose, the media and fans will be all over United talking about our best player on the bench. I think there is true. I think the press have got a big part to play, especially with England, with Rooney. But I think the press needs to listen to United fans. They've had enough. The vast majority don't want him in the team at the moment because I reckon this team could be challenging for the title everywhere up to number 9. Put Martial, he was doing a really good job there. Even put Ashley Young, Memphis out on the left, and this team would be all right. You've just got to take Rooney out. That's not anybody getting out a hitman contract or anything like that. And you can't wish injury on him, but actually, if he'd gone off with concussion off that head thing, I think we'd have won the game. Alex just quickly took in on Louis van Gaal's comments. He wanted to blame the referee. I didn't notice that, and he also said that we need to shoot from outside the box, which I do agree with. We are trying to pass it in.
Yeah, I don't know what the referee thing is. I'm guessing it's that Sterling Herrera penalty shout, but it wasn't really a penalty, I don't think. The shooting bit, I do agree with, but they defended really well, to be fair to them. And but like you said, I think that comment of if he would have gone off with a head injury, then we probably would have won. But yeah, we do need to shoot more, but I just need to say my opinion quick on what Gaz said about Schneiderlin. I thought Schneiderlin was absolutely brilliant today. I would have had him, maybe not as my man of the match, but I think along with Rojo and Martial, he was like one of the best players on the pitch. He made so many good interceptions and tackles, and I thought he was a brilliant player.
I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think he looks out of his depth sometimes. I just don't see it. Maybe I'm completely missing the point with him. And I've got no axe to grind against him. I think he will be a success, but I don't know. I just don't. I thought when Fellaini came on, we improved vastly.
I just think that he's a bit like with Carrick, how he does like the silent job, that you have to be paying attention to what he's doing and like fixating on him to notice what he's doing and how well he's playing. And I was like looking out for it because I've been wanting him to play in the big game, so I was trying to watch what he was doing, and I thought he had a really, really good game.
Okay, well, like I said, maybe you know, maybe we didn't see that. We have kind of North American. In fact, we had Tim Howard commentating today. 90 minutes and not a single profanity. That was disappointing as well.
That's bloody good for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we went into this game. I was 100% we're going to win it, and to be honest, I still stand by that. You know, you can't account for a manager and what decisions they make, and I think it was 2 points dropped, and I'd argue that with anybody, and I think it was dropped because we kept somebody on the pitch who was absolutely abysmal. I mean, somebody just said in the live comments there, the reason Rooney plays is the captain. That's sort of gone out of my head now. I've totally forgotten that. I mean, he should not be captain. We've had that conversation. He shouldn't be captain. But if he's the captain, you know, he couldn't captain the Titanic. He's going down. He is, and it's just awful. But 2 points dropped, Gaz. Can this team win the title?
Not all in the can't now. We've not got enough up front, have we? We can't rely on Martial. And Martial, it's no coincidence that since he's moved him onto the left, he's not scored. I know he played there for Monaco, but he's a threat down the middle. I'd imagine, like you were saying before, company on a card and not fully fit in ring at you, you'd be terrified. You know, no matter how good a great player company is, because he's a great player. But you know, it just seems the obvious, and I don't know why. I don't know. And I'm actually a fan of. I like Ashley Young. He's kind of one of them. Ashley Young either plays terrible or great. There's no middle ground with Ashley Young, is there? But you know, how about if he wasn't even on the bench? Is he injured, or he wasn't selected at all?
Ashley Young's injured at the moment, yeah.
I was injured. I wasn't sure. It's hard over here. We don't get any of the papers or the radio, so it's hard to keep up all the time. All right, but that's his point. I don't think we can win the title without another striker. You know, another world-class striker. And I think we would have a chance, yeah, because I think we're keeping the ball well and the passing well, but it's that final third. We need some speed.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting because actually, I think today has to go down as 2 points dropped. Newcastle definitely was 2 points dropped, and we never should have lost at Swansea. So there's at least 5 points we should have there. I mean, it sticks in my claw a lot that City come without Aguero and Silva, and I've seen a few United fans saying it's not a bad point. It is a bad point. I mean, we made Company look like Chris Smalling today, and you know, Martial made him look like, I don't know, name a crap defender, John Terry. The one time Company comes over and he gets yellow carded, and I was there. It's like Kev said, it was wide open second half. He should have been saying to Rooney, get up again. Well, what can Rooney do? He's an old man, and he looks overweight, and he looks like he's playing in slow motion. But it's so bad, I would play Fellaini up front. But another of our favourites, Michael Carrick, Kev, frozen out since Arsenal. Fellaini, I could see sort of why he came on, but the move you always expect around the 60-70 minutes mark is Schweinsteiger for Carrick or Carrick for Schweinsteiger. He's not getting a look in at the moment. I don't know why that is. You got his autograph today, didn't you?
I did, mate. Yeah, I mean, Michael Carrick getting left out. I mean, what is wrong with him? Is he injured? Is he not match fitness? Just don't know. And like I say, even Schweinsteiger being in the team, I absolutely love Bastian Schweinsteiger, but I think we proved it against Arsenal. You can't play the two of them, it's one or the other. And Carrick, fantastic player, and what's going on? Why is he not being chosen? It's easy to say it now, and loads of people will jump on it now saying, oh, you know, it's easy to say, why was he not in the team? He could have made a difference. But Michael Carrick, at half time, I was speaking to people, and they were like, if Carrick was in this team, he sprays and passes about. Again, I always say it's hard to believe it's not Scholes, but it's a similar kind of thing. He can spray them passes and open up defences. And again, I just don't know why he's not in the team. He prefers Schweinsteiger, but he's managed Bayern Munich. He's managed Schweinsteiger before, so he obviously relies on him, and he's choosing Schweinsteiger over him. But yeah, I just don't know what to make of it at the minute.
It's a long season, and what I would say is what I said after the match is that Carrick and Schweinsteiger play a very similar role, and they are probably two of my favourite players in world football. So you can't split them, but I'm just surprised he's not using Carrick much. I always feel with Louis van Gaal there's an underlying current somewhere, and I heard a few rumours that after the Arsenal game, Carrick was a bit critical of the way they were playing, and Rooney, funnily enough, but Rooney can't get dropped. But he's done it with Memphis, hasn't he? He's done it with Memphis. He's done it with Blind. He just freezes them out completely, and I think Memphis probably deserves to be coming on the pitch ahead of Lingard. I know a lot of United fans love Jesse Lingard. I'm going to be consistent and say Pereira's a better player. He's not even getting on the bench, and I think Memphis is better than Lingard as well. Fantastic that a young youth player's coming through. That is the United way, but I don't think Lingard's ready. I still think a couple of games I've seen where he's supposedly played quite well, he's ran up blind alleys, and against Man City, you've got to be a bit cuter than that. But he's a great player for the future, but I think, why is Memphis not being involved? David MUFC says, Mark, have you finally given up on Rooney now? I have, yeah, I have. I think people like Herrera and Schweinsteiger and Schneidlin and Mata and Martial, they're banging their heads against a brick wall when they've got him up front. They're trying their best and they're getting nothing back. It's like banging the ball against the brick wall. Alex, Phil Jones, one positive I would take from this game, we had it at the start of the season. The defence suddenly looks like it's getting back to that start of the season form now, where we look quite solid.
Yeah, I think I heard a stat today, and I guess it's continued. They said that it's been 11 games that in their whole career at United. I thought they would have played more than that, but when Smalling and Jones have started the game as the centre-back partnership, and that we've never lost, it's now we've drawn 3 and won the rest of them. So they are really good to see. Jones defends really well, but he was kind of wasteful on the ball today. Smalling, brilliant again. Rojo, brilliant. I thought Valencia, actually, we gave him a lot of stick, and I was a bit like, oh, why is he starting? But he did absolutely brilliant today. I thought going forward he wasn't that great, but defensively he didn't put a foot wrong, and neither did Rojo. Obviously, all the hype going into the game was how Kevin De Bruyne was going to absolutely destroy us, and so had to swap him to a different wing because he just couldn't get anything past Rojo, which is really testament to Rojo, and I hope he got a lot of praise from Van Gaal about that to give his confidence up. But I don't really understand. I think Jones has done really well, and I would keep Jones as our centre back, but I don't really understand what Blind did wrong to get dropped in the first place. But that's just me. I think against teams like against Everton with Lukaku and then Southampton with Pella, like when you have a big physical centre back, I'd play Jones, but maybe against the less physical centre backs, I might play Blind because of his ball passing ability.
Well, I'm a big fan of Matteo Darmian, and this is Louis van Gaal for you, isn't it? He was brilliant against Everton last week, and he gets, a lot of fans said, rested in midweek. I said he's not being rested. He's going to be dropped this weekend, and he was dropped. And I don't understand Louis van Gaal. I don't really. He treats some players like absolute rubbish, and then he's got a rubbish captain and he plays him every week for 90 minutes. I don't get that. But we'll come back on to you guys, because we opened the show with this a bit, and it was something he'd said to me in the week that I sort of agree with, and it is interesting with your years of experience of watching United, certainly. You said that it's quite boring to watch. We do hear this quite a lot. I mean, do you think that's Louis van Gaal's way? Do you think he's going to improve it, or do you think this is here to stay?
Well, it's very methodical, and I like the old kind of the Dutch style, the total football, and it's boring when there's no turn of pace in the last quarter. That's when it's boring. If he's building up to something. I mean, if he's 40 passes and we score, that's a wonderful goal. But if he's just going down a blind alley or to someone up from Rooney or something and keep covering over Rooney, he's going to pass it back or slow play down. What's the point? It's not going anywhere. So if there's going to be something at the end of it, but there's no turn of pace, and we've got one of the fastest, Martial, and it just doesn't seem to be. And the interesting point about Carrick would be some of them balls you could put through for Martial to run to down the middle. It'd be perfect. I think that'd be a perfect combination.
Yeah,
I like Schweinsteiger as well. I think so. I love Schweinsteiger.
I think you're nail on the head. I think you're the same. I think Mata would be the same. It just gives them an option to knock it in behind, or the defence have got to drop. I mean, the thing we had with Martial is that the defence had to drop 10 yards further. The Company and Otamendi would have had to drop 10 yards further against Martial, which would have given Herrera and everyone more space. They played up right on our halfway line virtually at times against Rooney, because they know he's got no threat behind. And the thing, I'd have played Darmian today, and I know a lot of people. I gave Valencia a 7, and he did quite well. But in the first 5 minutes, he had good opportunities to cross. He put him in the Stretford end. and Rooney always looks for that ball out there, which everyone goes, oh, what a ball by Rooney. He's switched the play from right to left, but then it doesn't mean anything, does it?
No, if it goes out for a goal kick, he doesn't know. No, I mean, Valencia thought he did it. Apart from his cross, he did okay. He did well defending. Rojo was phenomenal today. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. And Smalling's been great. I'm not a Jones fan, not at all. But he did well today. But if it had been up against, Aguero, but he wasn't, luckily. But I'm not a Jones fan, to be honest with you.
No. Kev, we'll stick on Chris Smalling. I mean, I think he deserves a mention. It's a year ago since we, more or less a year since we went to the Etihad, and he got sent off. A lot of United fans, especially on Twitter, and some people we know were calling him CUNT and all sorts, which I found abhorrent. Really, I don't think you should ever do that to United players. But Smalling today, good performance.
Yeah, great performance, really good. Again, just growing into that role, and I think I've mentioned it on air loads of times. For me, Chris Smalling, he's had his opportunities, and we're going back years ago when Vidic and Ferdinand were in the team. He just never really stepped up, and he should have been stepping up at that time. But all of a sudden, bang! This season now, he's taken his opportunity, and he's one of the first names on the team sheet. He's absolutely sensational every game. And again, I mentioned maybe I'll go on to Phil Jones there. Again, I am still very undecided, because today, for me, he just breeds this uncertainty and makes me very nervous when he's in that back line. He reminds me very much of when Johnny Evans was in that back line against Chris Smalling. Chris Smalling's solid. And Daley Blind in alongside him was a great partnership. And at this moment, Chris Smalling is absolutely playing out of his skin. He's been man of the match many times this season. I think he's been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, Chris Mateague says there he's a beast of a player and he's improved immensely. I mean, I did want to mention it just because of the rubbish he got after the last time we played them this time last year, and I think most of us on this channel have always said he's got the potential. I'd agree with what you both said about Phil Jones. I think he needs to have at least 10-20 games playing like he did today before we can even start to think he can get anywhere near Smalling. But Alex, a couple of people have messaged me before we came on the show and said, don't worry about the fact that we've dropped 2 points today. We've got a nice run of 6 easy games to come. I just wonder whether some Man United fans are like goldfish with their memory. I mean, when in Louis van Gaal's history as a Man United manager have we taken maximum points from supposedly easy games? I mean, that's always been his. I was looking forward to the harder games we've just had because he tends to do quite well against them. But I mean, what are you expecting over the next 6 games? I know we've got Palace. Is it Sunderland at home after that? No, it can't be Sunderland. Somebody crap. But we have got 6 games that on paper you'd look at winning. But I think one of them are Leicester, who are no mugs. West Ham are in there as well.
Yeah, we have Palace next, and then after them West Brom at home. So we should definitely be winning the West Brom at home. I think Palace game, I know we won there last season, but it's never an easy game. West Ham at home, we might go into that thinking that we'll blow them off the park, but I'm sure so did City, I'm sure so did Arsenal, I'm sure so did Liverpool and Chelsea for that matter. So they've won 4 out of 4 of the games that no one gave them an absolute chance in. So they're one to watch with Payet, who's been one of the signings of the season. I think he's been brilliant, but on paper, we should be beating these teams. I don't think we'll win, like you said. I don't think we'll win every single game. Just realistically, I don't think we will. But the same goes for City and Arsenal. They're not going to win all their games either. So, if we start dropping, if we drop a load of points here, like we did against the easy teams last season, then I'm going to start to worry. And I think today was 2 points dropped. I know people are saying, "Oh, I'm happy with the draw. I'm happy with the draw." When they have Aguero and Silva out, and we're at Old Trafford, we should not be happy with the draw to City if we want to have any chance of winning the league, which is what we should be aiming for.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would say title is I didn't think that was realistic anyway. But any realistic chance, that's a massive blow today. I mean, anybody who's thinking that's a good point, I think. Who do you blame? You can't, Lou Van Gaal picks the team at 70 minutes. He had an opportunity to win us the game, and he decided not to do the decision that most of us would have done. I'll come to you on that, Gaz. I mean, we've sort of touched on it over the last 18 months. Well, how long have we been going? About 12 months. Louis Van Gaal. We've had up and down moments with him. I think the job he's done in the fact that he's got rid of a lot of dead wood and he's bringing through the youth is good. I mean, as a manager of Manchester United, and you will have recalled quite a few. I mean, I was about Sir Alex Ferguson's pretty much all I remember because that was the mid-80s. But how do you rate Louis Van Gaal? Does he fit in with the philosophy of the United way? And is he somebody you're happy with?
Not 100%. I think if he fits in with United because he's a character and he's a complete lunatic. I quite like that line. But his philosophy, I think he's got a job to do for the next couple of years. I think he'll see it out, and I think that's probably the right way to stabilise the club and bring some sort of order, if you like, and get rid of the dead wood. But his style of play, I'm not convinced. I mean, he needed to change, and he needed to, but it's just a little bit dull. So I'm not 100% convinced. No, I mean, of course he's a good manager, but it's not really exciting, is it?
No. And just another one very quickly. I mean, Giggs as the next manager. Would you want Giggsy managing the club next, or do you think they need to go a bit more experience?
Not yet. I don't think so. Not yet. I mean, I grew up in the same town as Ryan. We played for the same youth team and everything. So I've got a lot of respect for him. And I think, eventually. But I don't think in 2 years' time, maybe. Not sure. I'm not sure. It's hard to say because we're not there, so we don't know what he does on a day-to-day basis. So it's hard to say. But I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. Not convinced yet. I think definitely at some point, Giggs should give the job. Definitely at some point, but I'm not sure yet.
Definitely the romantic choice, isn't it? And also it's that United way thing. Kev, we've just played Man City. We're 10 games in, I think it is now. I don't know how. Somebody probably start throwing tomorrow that he's got the same points as Moyes had 5 years ago or whatever like that. But the season in general so far, I mean, are we on the right? Where do you think we're going with this season?
I think we're on the right track. I mean, to be in the position we're in at the moment, I'm happy with that. And Van Gaal will always throw out this thing that we're in transition. Yeah, we brought players in. We're doing this and that. But yeah, I'm quite happy at this moment in time. The thing with me is the brand of football that we're actually playing, and it's just something we're not used to at all, because we're used to doing what Arsenal did to us a couple of weeks ago at the Emirates, and that's going out and absolutely blitzing teams in the first 10, 20 minutes. And Arsenal did it to us. We were 3-0 up in 20 minutes, game over. And that's Sir Alex Ferguson all over. He had his tactics spot on, and we went and for me, at the minute, it's like I said earlier, it's like a boxing fight. We don't even go at teams. It's almost like we sit back and think, what have you got? And they throw a few punches, and we go at them, and we get to this half time, and then it's the second half. We sort of throw a few punches in, and we go at them. It has worked. Don't get me wrong, but I've always said I think Louis Van Gaal is a great man for laying the foundations and putting it all in, but he can't see it through. And for me, there'll be another manager waiting to step in. And I said it to somebody earlier. I said, if you could have, at the end of this season, Carlo Ancelotti to step into that place now and take over the reins, would you have him? And a lot of United fans I spoke to said they would. So for me, Van Gaal's done great work behind the scenes. He's building it all up, whatever he's doing. But for me, at Barcelona and Bayern Munich, he did the same things, and Guardiola come in and he just took it on to another level. And that, for me, that's how I see it going. I think another manager will come in and take it on from there, basically.
Agree 100%. Agree with that 100%.
Alex, he's just thrown me there with a really good comment. So a few people were saying that we need to go back to having wingers because Anthony Martial's getting doubled up on and Matt has just got no pace or skill, drifts in, Valencia can't cross. I think we're clutching at straws then, like trying to blame the referee. I think the team's set up really, really well. What it needs is a Harry Kane or a Lewandowski if we're going to spend the money, even a Benzema, even a James Vardy. We just need a striker.
I don't want us to sign a top striker because I think if we sign a top striker, we're just going to play Martial out of position. I'd much rather just play Martial up front every single game and watch him develop. And likewise, I know he hasn't got off to the best starts, but we can't judge someone after such a short amount of time with Memphis. But I think one thing I would like to do is get a decent right winger because Mata obviously has no pace in our team. The one thing that's missing for it in attack with how we play at the moment with Martial obviously is quick. But then Rooney and Mata, they're really slow. So I'd want a fast right winger and then play Mata at number 10. And I know that does end up dropping Herrera, but we can swap between Mata and Herrera at number 10, then have Martial as a striker and then Memphis hopefully as a left winger. But I really don't want, and people might think I'm crazy for saying that, but I would be happy with us to bring in a striker, but not a big name striker because I want Martial to flourish.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's League Cup, isn't it? Wednesday night, home to Middlesbrough. So hopefully we'll see a bit more of Pereira, who I think is the man more than Lingard, but seems to have been frozen out again after being thrown in the deep end against Wolfsburg. But this is the Louis van Gaal way. If he did it to Rooney as well, I wouldn't have a problem with what he does. It's just the hypocrisy really winds me up, how he lets somebody just have a free pass the whole time and then treats everybody else like the way he does. But just very quickly, the middle of November, it's the Football Vlogging Awards. We're in the new category. We're up against the Liverpool channel. I know I say it a lot, but it's at Hotel Football next to Old Trafford. We're trying to do our best to win, but we need you lot to vote. You got us in the final. Second paragraph in the video description. Just click the link and just tweet out your vote, and it will count. That'd be really, really appreciated. I've got to come to you guys because there's a lad on there who regularly comments on our live comment box called Gavlad, and he said to mention to you, and I'll probably get the pronunciation wrong, and I hope there was no fallout because I know what it's like in the music industry. But I think you'll have to get into comments actually. But someone by the name of Phil Saxey used to be your manager.
Yeah, Phil Saxey, yeah, he was our manager. Yeah.
Yeah. Just.
And the Big Red as well, by the way. He's from Stretford, Big Red Phil Saxey. Yeah, he works at Liverpool Performing Arts now. Yeah, he was our first manager.
Okay, well, we'll spend a bit of time on you for a moment because there's people commenting on there saying who is it, and I keep saying it's the drummer from the Happy Mondays, and as I say, if they're not of a certain age or they don't like that sort of music, peasants, they should go and watch something else. But have you've got some gigs coming up? Are you all sold out in November or?
I don't know. We don't know anything. We just turn up. Yeah, we've got a tour in November coming. I think it starts on the 4th, something like that. I come over and I arrive next Sunday back in Manchester. And then we've got a 6-week tour, yeah. But yeah, people won't know. I mean, that's a good thing about being a drummer. People don't know you. You get all the perks without the hassle. It's great. A bit like being a goalkeeper, I suppose. Fullback. And
I think people will know Sean and obviously Bez from the dancing. But you're all Reds in the band, or
Sean doesn't really like football, but Bez was a Red for a while, but now I think he's not into sport at all. It's all conspiracy. Rowetta's a Big Red, but Mark, the guitarist, is a Blue Nose. But he's from the Far East originally. He's from Droylsden or somewhere around there. So that's why. But he's only Blue. But his brother's in my class at school. His brother's a United season ticket holder. So yeah, we're all Reds. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, I mean, I was going to say to you off there, but it'd be fantastic to have you back on at some point and just have a good old chat about the 90s and especially linking that into United because it'd be really interesting. I mean, it's so interesting because the other day I was watching the night before we were messaging each other a program about the 90s and about how I'm going to bore everybody now, but the link in with Paul Oakenfield and now that sort of set the 90s and the music, and I'm sure Kev will know a little bit more about it than I would, being from Manchester. But that sort of kicked in, and with Sir Alex Ferguson obviously been there before, but the success started then as well. It must have been a fantastic time.
Well, the kind of success started when we was on tour and away from home. That's when I stopped going, really, because I was away all the time, and that's when we started being good. So kind of I put all the years I put on me hours in 70s and 80s, and then we get good and we're on tour, and I'm never at home, so I never got to see him. So
I was going to ask, can you actually remember it? Because on that same programme, Jarvis Cocker was on there, and he says, I can't remember the 90s, but he can actually remember United.
Yeah, I can remember most of it, yeah. Yeah, of course can. Yeah.
Yeah. And you said before, you said at the start that you used to go in the 70s as a young lad. I mean, that is an era that interests me massively, because obviously I don't remember it at all. But it was a good time to support United. A lot of people, if you speak to them, say that the 70s were great.
Early 70s, my dad used to take me. He was in the K stand. He used to take me. I mean, I was 4 or 5, 6 years of age. And I loved it, And I saw George Best play. Don't remember seeing George Best play, but I saw him and Bobby Charlton. It was a great time. I remember. We just got relegated, and we was walking home after the City game, Dennis Lowe incident. I remember saying to my dad, "Can't believe my local team's United." And he said, "We've just been relegated." And he said, to me, "They'll always let you down." He said, "They always get to a certain point." He said, "There's always 2 steps forward, 1 step back with United." I suppose it's like with any club, anyway. If you support any team, it's always the same.
No, no, we'll definitely have to get you on if you're up for it, because I'd love to speak about it. And I think that's the thing, and I think me and Kev, well, I certainly do. I forget how old Kev is, but, United hasn't always been glory. We've had fantastic glory over the last 20, 25 years, and obviously the 60s and everything like that. But the 70s and 80s, I mean, I don't remember much of it, bits of the late 80s, but, a lot of people who were around then said that it was a fantastic time to support United. Yeah, they didn't have the success, but always the massive club.
Well, we always had the FA Cups, didn't we? So it was always punctuated with the FA Cup here and there. So it wasn't like we was in the doldrums doing nothing. So it was always something to, some bit of fun when the FA Cup was important.
Yeah, and I think probably one of our best players that we've ever had, Brian Robson, unfortunately, well, I think he enjoyed it, but if he'd have been in his prime with some of these teams we've had, I think he'd have been appreciated a lot more out of Manchester. But
yeah, and then the Cantona times was phenomenal as well, and it was funny. It's funny when Cantona did the kung fu kick. My sister lived in that street he was living in when I went round afterwards, and it was like the street was full of press, So I've got some good Cantona stories, and I've got some anecdotes over the years of getting kicked out of United when I was young for swearing, and Matt Busby got me back in the ground. Oh, loads of crazy stuff happened. Good times. Yeah, good times.
That's just reminded me, Kev, just as we're wrapping up, your pal's done a Cantona print, hasn't he? If you want to give him a shout out and give his Twitter feed, if you can remember it.
Yeah, at Daniel Pitzart, you want to go and give him a follow. Really good paintings, and obviously if anyone's interested, if they want to buy his artwork, it's top notch. He's got some George Best t-shirts coming out, a painting he did recently. He put it onto a t-shirt, so yeah, I'm sure obviously follow United Stand, and we'll have something out shortly about how you can buy them.
Kev, I just thought, I know you're mad into your music. I don't know whether there's anything you want to ask Gaz, because I know that you're a big drinking buddies with Manny, aren't you?
Yeah, I thought I was going to see him tonight, actually. The pub that I went down to, I was expecting to see him, but no show from him, so...
What
you good friends with him, Gaz?
Manny, yeah. I've not seen him for a while, though. Yeah, everyone's good friends with Manny. Well, I've not seen him for a while, though. I'm in Canada, but I've not seen him. I saw him in the summer one night. He never changes. He's got, I love Manny, he's a great guy.
You go to Heaton Park, Gaz?
No, I didn't. know. We was in Warrington, and we was rehearsing in Warrington, and I got stuck in a traffic jam, and we couldn't get there. We was ready to go. We were on our way. We finished rehearsals early to go. We didn't get there. Rowetta left earlier, and she got there. We didn't get there. Missed it.
Oh.
I know.
Missed out big time, mate.
I know.
I think we'll wrap up there, because apart from us three, I think everyone else is probably like, where's the football? But thanks for coming on, Alex.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Good show, guys.
I don't know why, Alex, your connection's been pretty poor tonight, but Gaz is in Toronto and it's fine. But, the wonders of technology. But you'll be back on Thursday night, won't you, with the preview?
Yeah.
Cheers. Okay. Well, what a show. Thanks, everybody, for watching. If you've been watching live, if not, comment below and we'll certainly reply. A lot of it's about the derby. We're realistic. We say it how it is on here, and I'm not happy with that today, and I don't think anybody is. And I think the big thing is Rooney needs to be dropped, and hopefully that will start filtering through to Leo Van Gaal, because it needs to be done. Otherwise, this season's going to be undermined by 10 really good performances because of one. But thanks for coming on, Gaz. Real pleasure to have you on.
Pleasure, it's great. I always like to have a good moan.
Hopefully get you on again when you can do it.
Yeah.
And hopefully not moaning all the time. But and Kev, thanks for making it. I know you've been down the pub.
I have. I'm gonna have to end on a song, aren't I?
Go on then.
If you come from Manchester, you're sure to be a blue. Mustard, Colliers, Salford and Cuts too. And if you think that this is true, you're nothing but a fool. 'Cause in this town of Manchester, Man United rule. Tra-la-la-la, we all hate City. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Thank you very much.
Nice, that'll be on a Vine very soon. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back on after the match on Wednesday with a live reaction to the Borough game. But give us a like, subscribe to the channel. It is your channel, the United Stand. Please just go to the second paragraph. There's a link in there to vote for us at the Football Blogging Awards. And not a fantastic weekend, not a totally happy Monday tomorrow, but that's because we want to be the best, and that's what Manchester United's all about. City are happy with the point. We want more.